One. Welcome back, everybody. I am your narrator, Blackthorn, here at the channel on the Edge of Shadow. And tonight's session is the first session of a lingering illness, which is going to be a prologue series that leads later into a larger meta plot called the Crown of Autumn. Now, as a brief recap for the end of the Reaper King, we last saw the entity that formerly was, by now it would have been a lifetime ago, an entity known as Shihan, but now touched by the darkness. He goes by a much more sinister name. He's become a phantom that haunts the woodland and the loping plains of the West. Shrines have been erected in this whispered entity's name by Fey hand as well as mortal hand. And this entity's name has been whispered in both of these communities. Since the time of the Reaper King, the entity has kind of faded away into some bit of obscurity, but some of the more well-connected covens of wardens as well as mystics of the wild wastes still know him. They utter words of vengeance when they have been wronged, and sometimes it answers, sometimes it does not. We see a hooded figure, a hooded, horned figure standing on an escarpment overlooking two great camps across the field. The closest to the coastline is a tent city of foreign invader sea peoples, these entities that the mainlanders now call Atlanteans, with their banners of great fishes and coral-like patterns. Across the field, we have a coalition of Fey and confederated mortal tribes in hopes that they try and push these invaders out. For whatever reason, these sea peoples have come to the mainland. Would Shihan, now known as Oron, describe himself, please?
So the being that calls himself Auron now stands upon this escarpment, the hood drawn tight over his head, though it's obvious the Fey horns. Unlike other Fey that many may have seen, his horns are black. It's the black of ebon itself. He wears armor that is very tight fitting and very well made of black ebon as well. That has a almost a sinister feel to it. If one were to actually hold their hand close to it, it has a coldness to it. The cloak he wears is tattered, but more careworn. Obviously, there are the occasional rip, and the hem itself is a bit jagged from travels through the forest and such. In his right hand, he has a great bow. Polished or well worn, the feeling of age upon it as it's looked, and then at his left hip, he has a quiver of arrows, 9 black fletched arrows, as well as another dozen that are gray fletched. His eyes are a very, very, very cold, almost ice colored blue. and the face itself is probably, it has a at one time may have had a healthy glow to it, but now just seems to um, almost have the color of death. The beliefs of the people, those who call upon him, have obviously affected him over time. And,
In these quiet moments, Oron has a flashback to an earlier time. A dear companion of his and a powerful ogre uh, who he had traveled with and slain with and had the privilege of calling a battle brother for quite a long time. He hung up his great club after bathing in that Fey spring. We see Oron now on the edge of this spring as he has finished cleansing himself of the corruption. Blogfear looks down at Oron and says, Shion, I have seen more blood and death in these past cycles than I believe I possibly should have, even if I am of the great goddess's own. My heart longs for some peace.
Aron looks, oh, Shihan, as he thought of himself at the time, looks up at his friend, way up at his friend, and his face softens just a bit. He had this almost a hard look to him from coming out of the spring. His hair, at this point, you can tell his hair has a golden sheen to it. He is one of the odd, fair colored fae, but those the horns of his head still have that darkness, very very contrasting with that. And he says, "My friend Blogveer, yes, you've seen a lot." His eyes sort of narrow just a bit. He said, "I've seen a lot too. But you go be with your lady. You've earned that. Myself, I have more to do. There are those who need to be hunted." And a steel comes to his voice. That
Will your work ever be finished, my friend?
when the last lash falls to the ground, and the last child calls out for vengeance for their parents, then yes. Until then, I don't believe I can. Besides, you have a wife to go home to. So do I. The difference is you want to go.
There's kind of I would call it maybe like a praxic smile kind of comes across his face, and he kind of rolls his eyes and goes, "Oh, those are spoils of war that we did not want. I hope she is happy with you."
I'll fulfill my duties, but as she has much the same effect upon me as your washerwoman did upon you. The
Oh,
difference is I'm bound to her for all eternity at this point.
if you've ever seen a full grown ogre full body shiver, oh, you see it now. And he smiles, and he reaches out his enormous four-fingered hand to place it on your shoulder and arm at this point as he could. Uh, then I hope that carnage keeps you, and on your road you are safe.
She'll be hearing from me quite often. I think I'll be pleased with what I do.
I would think so too. And in those moments, Blogveer's his voice trails off, and we fade to black there. In another time, we see this encampment. What I need from my players at this time, roll your reaction, please. The battle with the invaders has begun.
$15.
15, fantastic. All right.
$35. I experienced twice.
Jesus Christ. All right, fine. Be that way. We're gonna go. Good goddamn, man. Yeah, we did.
I got an 8. I got 8 grades in it. What do you want me to do?
Well, then I suppose. So the warden obviously goes first, and then some. With that, hang on here. To our advanced recon, I will bequeath the knowledge of the enemy has. Well, actually, I'm actually not going to reveal that to the audience. I'm going to tell the recon itself. All right, recon, you can tell the boys if that information, should you wish it.
On my initiative, right?
On your on your reaction.
Okay.
All right. All right. To describe the environment to you, for Ilmatar, you've signed on with the Dawn Fairfolk, who have been traveling with the Arborian royalty for the past several months. Now, this is one of the more larger battles of the Atlantean Wars. Now, a decisive victory here could possibly push quite a bit of their number back to the sea and delay any more raiding going towards the Fairfolk woodland kingdoms. Now, to your knowledge, these guys have been they were involved in chopping down a portion of your homeland. Now, should you wish to seek vengeance there, you're more than welcome to do so. Your party is squared off with the Atlantean second formation. There's actually a column directly in front of you guys. On their side, they have column A. Column B is yours. They have a pair of confederated Nemercian tribes underneath them, and a group which they're kind of using as fodder at this point, that in the form of kind of a mixed group: goblins, subhumans, drow warriors, that sort of thing. On your end, obviously there is the Arborian royalty. There is a group of Dawn Fairfolk Rangers on your side. There's a mixed group of mercenaries as well as confederated tribes there. Now, behind your encampment, behind your actual baggage train, to be perfectly fair, is your less than welcome cousins, the Shadow Fae. And they're honestly waiting to be brought in at the drop of a hat. A few moments later, as this battle has been kicking off here, there's a shield wall press. That's about 4 men deep on either side. You can probably tell from your vantage point that the first 2 lines, Atlantean as well as the Fae and Mortal side, those 2 lines are probably going to be crushed to death within the next 10 to 20 minutes. What do you wish to do for your reaction?
What's the weather like?
It is clear. You could have picked a worse day for it.
And remind me, what's the season right now?
Late autumn. It's a bit chilly. It's, I was going to say it's about 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Unfavorable wind from the coastline coming up from the south. So any archers will have a -1 penalty as they're firing into the wind.
Is the wind at our back or at the enemy's back?
At the enemy's back. They're south of you.
Okay. So it's actually in their favor. Damn it.
Yep.
That would explain the smell.
The smell
Being
is
at
that smell is
being
probably
at-
sensual sorcerers.
yeah. Being at what I am at, power wise and knowledge wise, how far can I drop the temperature? I.e., make it because the wind is at the enemy's back,
Mm-hmm.
so it would hit them first. If I make that colder to, at the very least, inconvenience them, at the most, slow them down, how wide can I do that and how far can I drop that? Can I drop it below freezing? Being a warden of the winter?
Well, the Winter Coven, you could probably cast some kind of frost. That would take your full round to actually prepare a ritual for that.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have much else to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that, how would you?
Do I have?
We're just gonna say
do
you have
I-
all of your supplies you need for casting spells because the baggage train is right there.
Right. Do I have any other wardens of my sect around?
You know what?
To help empower and amplify said ritual. Because cooperative casting doesn't get used nearly enough as it should.
Yeah, no. We haven't seen circle casting since Dragon, actually. Yeah, you've got about a dozen of your fellows here, both fair folk and not. There's a few Nemercians in there. You can round up 12 of you guys. There'd be 13 there.
I will talk to the closest one, or if they're all just there, I'll talk to as many as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them what I basically want to do and let them all prep as they need and say, we need this done within the next minute or two.
Okay. I absolutely agree. Now, I need a spellcasting test from you. That would be here. Spellcasting. And the level of the ritual. What is... I don't have your...
Cold is my second aspect.
Okay, so it would be 2 times spell level. So we need...
I don't know what the spell level of that would be.
Oh, excuse me. Keith, where did we put that in the guidebook? I was not prepared. Shame
what
on
level
me.
it was?
The cold aspect was gained at level 4, if that counts, if that's what you need.
Oh no, it's more a matter of figuring out how many spell points is going to cost you to do it and
We're getting there.
duration. So I would say that he could probably do it at 4th, and with the additional for the time, he could trade out. He has a dozen.
Spell level times 2 plus 10. So if he's casting it at a 4th level spell, that is... Wait. 4 times 2, 8 plus 10. So 18. I need a sight test of 18 from you.
Is that just straight sight, or do I get to use my ritual grades?
No, this is we're gonna use your straight sight. You will for your assistance here, that'll actually reduce it by 4, I'll say. So you're actually going to be making a sight difficulty of 14.
14. Okay. 1 second. $19.
Fantastic. You can describe for us how that spell will take effect. It won't take effect, obviously, this round. It's going to take you a little while. But you tell us what you guys are doing, what spell components you are using, and you basically have this scene to yourself here. Tell us what this ritual looks and feels like.
Okay. Brain function today. It's okay. English isn't that hard. If anyone out here has read the Bulgariad, you might recognize this a little bit. This is actually where I'm pulling inspiration from. Spell component is he'll actually take a thing of water, like a little bit, like a palm full of water from his water skin. And he's going to see which way the wind blows on it. And he's also going to see that it's getting cold in his hand. Well, feel that's getting cold in his hand. And what he's going to do is he's going to look out to the enemy line. And he's going to picture the wind. Not feel it, nothing. He's actually going to picture it. And he's going to picture it way out beyond the enemy, like far behind them. And he's going to picture it billowing and building. As it builds, as it picks up moisture, as it picks up speed, it's getting colder and colder. So whenever this ritual actually takes effect, what he's going to see in his mind's eye is essentially this tidal wave of frozen wind sweeping along the backs of the enemy. And what he's hoping from a visual standpoint with his spell components is as this wind is doing this, the water in his hand is actually going to freeze. And right when it's coming to bear down on the enemy, he will actually shatter the now ice ball in his hand and throw it out to let it scatter upon the wind approaching.
Beautiful. That will take effect on your next turn here. The next people who are up is the column, the Atlantean column, kitty corner to you. They actually, for the sake of effect. Batrazeus, would you make me a defense test and add 4 to it, please?
$23.
He's 23.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. That line holds. The Vanguard actually pushed up from that side, and they're keeping them at bay. Well done, boys. The mixed group of Arborians and Confederated Nemercian tribes stands firm. Now, column B, which is actually directly attacking your guys' unit. Roland and Batrazeus, you have a line of Atlantean foot step up. They cross that small rill, that small creek behind them, and they attempt to engage you. Now, Batrazeus, I need a defense test from you, and then Roland, you'll go right afterwards.
18.
18. Fantastic. They do not get through.
$21.
21. Okay, fantastic. Well, fine. My dice are gonna hate me tonight. You guys are gonna be. Oh, this is gonna be a bloodbath here soon.
Should be.
In order, Batrazeus, I would like for you to describe your portion of this battle here. Well, first off, describe your character, and for your defensive action, I would like you to roll a single d8 and tell me how many of these poor bastards you murder in the process. Describe your character for us. And this is your action of defending yourself. We're getting to your turn shortly.
Okay. So Batrazeus is a mountain of bronze. Bronze hauberk, a great bronze helm, a shield that you could put an ox on, a great bronze broadsword that he swings this way and that, and his great reach lets him just go beyond lines of men. He stands 10 feet tall, and his place in this fight is to take advantage of opportunities that present themselves and to block breakthroughs that have happened with the ordinary troops. So being a big guy, he makes himself a target, but his arms and defense are very hard to get through. He moves quicker than anything that big should, but not that quick. But his strength is just indomitable. And
he is very, very well admired by the other warlike tribes.
I rolled a 7.
You can describe for us how many of these Atlantean foot you just murder in the grimmest way possible, preferably.
The first swing takes 2 heads off in one blow. He manages to slam the shield down, severing the thigh of another. He turns and does a backswing with the blade, crashing it down through the shoulder and into the chest of another defender, and just continues to swing the blade out in just brutal machine-like efficiency. He is not a barbarian. He is a soldier.
Beautifully grim. Roland, as your immense battle brother is drawing quite a bit of attention to himself. Describe yourself and the same.
So Roland is much slighter, obviously, than Batrazeus. He stands maybe at 5'6", if that. His clothing is dark, not black, but a mixture of browns and greens and grays that seem to be almost tied to his body in ways, so that he tends to blend into the background a little bit. He has a hood pulled up over his head. And on his face, he has an ebon mask that is reminiscent of some of the beasts that prowl the darkness at the night of the old Ebon Vale. It has where it comes down below his nose are a pair of fangs that project down to each side of his mouth. And it has a snarl aspect to it. The hood itself is pulled tight itself to the back of the mask, almost as if it's attached by something. And flaring out above this hood are a pair of horns similar to what you would see on a Don Fairfolk. They're not very big. But they are the same ebon black as the mask. Some of the details of the mask are picked out by a bit of brass, sort of polished, so it gives it a bit of detail. He wields in one hand a curved blade of ebon, and in the other a shorter, almost a great knife, you could call it, in the other hand, to balance it out more as a seemingly as a defensive weapon than the other. And you said how do I dispatch some of these? Is that what you were saying?
Roll me a d8, and how many, and how do you dispatch the enemy?
Exploding d8?
If it explodes, it explodes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But for narrative combat is a single d8. Probably one of the few times in the system it's just one d8.
So he does take out 8 because I rolled a 1 afterwards. But
that's fine.
What he does is he is not the type of fighter who is going to, like Betrayus, stand out in the combat. So as Betrayus sweeps through this line, laying waste, he literally comes in the wake of the great blade, dipping in with this with a flick of the blade to take out a throat, a stab to the kidney with the other knife, and he whirls through, as I said, about 8 of these guys. As they're staring upwards, he comes from below, attacking from where they're not looking, and then he dips back and back behind Betrayus, leaving some very startled but very much dying soldiers in his wake.
With the enemy scene 2, we now go to the attacking turns of the party. Roland is next to act.
So as Roland has been doing this, he is, of course, his eyes have constantly been scanning. He yells at Batrazeus and says, "They have two troll sorcerers. We'll need to take them out as soon as possible." And
Batrazeus, if you're going to be looking for them at all, make me an awareness test, quick like. Sorry to cut you off, Keith.
That's okay.
14.
14. They're not hiding, and trolls have a very hard time hiding when it's in the daytime. They are. Let me actually get out the Megafauna templates for you. Keith, we get to test these guys out.
Yay.
Right? Isn't that great? Trolls. Trolls of Arklanar are a tall, rangy, powerfully muscular, and long-haired. But it's not like, don't think long-haired as just head hair. They're patchy, Well, I like prepubescent boys try and grow facial hair and it's all patchy and disgusting and looks like pubes on your face. Nah, think of that, but the whole body, and it's just patches of thick, matted, disgusting hair, and long, toothy maws, and wide eyes that are kind of slitted like a cat's. And they as a culture are kind of a late Stone Age, early Copper Age kind of people. They're, and I say people, and that's actually giving them probably a lot more credit than I should, when they are intelligent beasts that snatch up people with their long as shit arms. And more often than not, they travel in small family groups of like 3 to 7, but sometimes you'll find amongst trolls trolls find their own magic and they study their own style of pillar, and they then lead solitary lives. And these two nightmares have signed on with the Atlanteans, and you see them. They're not exactly clad in armor, but they're wearing clothes of Atlantean make, and it may or may not kind of function as padded armor of some kind, but they're doing something on a distant hill behind this line, similar to our before mentioned companion Ilmatar. They're doing a circle magic of their own, just the pair of them, and you see that. And I will tell you, from this vantage point, they're playing with powers that they should not. And when Batrazeus looks upon these, I need a corruption defense test from him.
Okay.
Which is life force. It's D8, actually 2D8s, level, and sight modifier. Excuse me, yes, not sight, spirit. It's not a spell casting test.
Okay. 19.
19. Excellent. You can fortify your soul against the horrific sight of this, as they take. And keep in mind, I'm describing all of this, and that this takes place in maybe like 14, 15 seconds of a break that you see this
right
from across the field. They pick up a small tribal girl, and they cut her in two with this big butcher knife looking thing, and drop her in a pot that gouts up this sickly green flame, and that just happened, and you're able to steel yourself, and that's not going to happen again. And we move on to Roland's attack for this turn.
Is there someone in this line that looks as if they're a sergeant or lieutenant or possibly a leader that I can stake my way into?
In the enemy?
Yeah.
There's a sergeant. There is a captain behind him, maybe about 40, 50 feet.
Okay. Well, I am going to attempt to. Is the sergeant in the front line?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Then I am going to go.
In this moment, he's trying to get into the shield wall.
Yeah. I am going to attempt to snake my way in there and take him with my blade.
Do it. Get him.
All right. 6, that's 13 plus my attack. That's a 16.
Fantastic. You're going to be taking him unawares. So he gets a -4 penalty to his defense, which he gets a fat 4.
Okay. So he got damaged. So how many
did
dispatches
you-
is that, sir?
Did you? It's what's one dispatch bonus for every 3 that you have above him. You're an assassin background, correct?
No, priest.
Oh, that's right. You took priest instead of assassin. Never mind then. It's 1 for every 3 above. So he got a 4. What did you get again?
Got 16. So that's 8 difference. So no, actually that's 12 difference.
3,
So that'd be 4
12.
dispatches.
Yes, that's plus 4 damage. Plus
Okay,
4
so-
dispatch.
That's 14 total damage on him.
Ow! He's not dead, but he's looking really bad. You can describe that for us, should you wish.
So after he yells up to Batrazeus about the troll sorcerers, he looks up very quickly, analyzing this line, sees this fellow trying to rally, and darts over there among the other warriors trying to hold the line, and slides down underneath one of the shields and just takes his long curved blade up between the shields that are spreading for him to join the shield wall, and stabs for his groin. Lancing his blade deep into the abdomen before pulling it out and backing out.
He has serious wounds. He's actually going to bleed out the next turn. That's how bad you got him. We then move to Batrazeus.
What is between me and the trolls?
Using modern U.S. Army numbers, about 2 companies.
How far away are the trolls?
About 1,000 yards, maybe.
Okay.
They're on a distant hill.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we'll deal with what's right in front of us.
Right.
There's glances momentarily side to side and looks for whoever looks freshest and toughest, and that's my target.
You can wade through a couple guys and try and have a go at that captain. He's actually still in the saddle of his horse, the Atlantean captain that I described previously. Get him.
Bakuzeus crouches, and he, with a great shove, I assume an athletic sort of check,
Sure.
he shoves several of the Atlanteans aside, and he charges the captain.
Fantastic. Do it.
Athletics check?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I rolled 2 8s.
Oh, yeah, no, you're probably gonna kill a couple of these guys. Roll me a d8.
Okay.
Yeah, remember doing me d8. That's
That's a 6.
you just killed those 6 guys. You just put it out of the way. Just
Okay.
we're done. They
All right.
have turned into sea salt chili on your shield, and you can step up and gank that captain if you so choose.
Charges that captain. Okay, that's exploded. So that's 11.
I will give you a +1 narrative bonus for the charge there.
13. That is a 31.
Oh my god. Yeah, he can't answer that. He just can't. Roll damage.
14 is my base.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh, Christ, man.
So it's the captain and his horse.
Okay. He's not dead. The horse certainly shouldn't. Here, hang on.
So I don't know how
14
much
is your
that
base, and you gotta roll damage now.
I'm sorry?
You said 14 is your base damage?
That's my base damage plus dispatch.
Yeah, you're gonna cap at 5 dispatch with that.
Okay.
So
that's 19 then.
19 damage. Okay. Yeah.
So
horse and rider are killed, actually. If you're going down over your shoulder,
right.
Yeah, you can kill him and sever the horse's spinal column. Describe the mayhem.
Before the men's bodies from the front line hit the ground, Batrazeus has covered the 50 feet, and the captain turns to look, gets his shield up. He actually managed to get in a good position, but the mass, just the strength and the power comes slamming down, and it crushes the shield, bending it nearly in half. The sword continues down, severing his right arm from his body, and then it skips across his side and cuts his leg off before it jams through the saddle and into the horse's spine. And both collapse in a spray of blood.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'll say, I mean, you gotta admire the shield work, and he just valiantly would have got. He's like, oh, I think so. Nope.
The form was good.
Had you been a smaller combatant, he probably would have been a terrific opponent, but he just could not answer the mass. These guys are oh my god. It's not going to be corruption based, but just for the sake of the terror that would come off of that scene, can I get Batrazeus to make a life force test?
All right, what am I rolling on that?
It would be dice 2d8 plus level plus spirit.
Okay.
I am going to try to inflict anyone within line of sight on the enemy side with corruption after you've just murdered their captain.
That is 12.
And of course, they fail miserably. Quite like 24 of these guys like, oh shit, and they run. These well-disciplined troops finally saw something that from their nightmares, and a good portion of them fucking leave. Roland and your fellows, you actually see a very large portion of formation B on the Atlantean side just break and rout. You probably saw what just happened out of the corner of your eye, but there's a big hole on the enemy side now. Very well done. And with that, we go to the allied tribes on their side. They're going to rout. Of course, the subhumans are also going to rout because they get a -2, and they leave as well. You guys are actually doing very good in this battle. We go back to Ilmatar, and you can describe for us how that spell takes effect. As you have been preoccupied for this whole session, I didn't really just actually need this combat. I have not described the rest of the scene to you, so we come back to you. Take us away.
Okay, so like I said, essentially what they're seeing it as, and the enemy might not see this because, of course, their backs are to the wind, even though they might start to feel it. Some of our guys might see this, though. It looks almost like if you have the beginning of an avalanche start and you get that billow of the cold wind coming out in front. That's what our side sees bearing down on the enemy. Like, you look up and all you see is basically icy wind wall and he would assume his fellows would be doing the same thing, and we would just concentrate on that, focusing on the ranks of the enemy troops that this is going to come slamming into. I don't know how deep we can have it go, if we can have it hit all the ranks of the enemy and basically stop at like the battle line, or if it is going to bleed on our side. I don't know exactly how that's going to work quite yet. Best case scenario, I would like it not to hit our side, but unfortunately collateral happens.
It would cost a minimum of 4 spell points, as it's a 4th tier spell.
Yep.
Say, if you want to hit the enemy, there's 2 units left. I'm going to say they're probably big enough. If you have the spell points for it, so 2 spell points.
Trying to remember how many.
Your spell points will be it's level. Keith will remind it's level plus sight modifier or level times sight modifier.
For the pillar users, it's level times sight modifier.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's for all. It's level times sight modifier.
Okay.
Level times.
Yep.
Okay. So he has 16 spell points.
Okay. You can hit both columns, and it'll cost you 8 of your 16.
Yeah, he will do that.
Okay.
So does that mean that it's only going to hit the enemy though? It's not going to bleed onto our side?
You're choosing the target as opposed to or 2 targets as opposed to a large area. That is half of your allotted spell points for the day. You're going to be pretty tired as is. That's going to take a lot out of you.
Yeah, well, it is a war, so.
Right. What is he going to do for the rest of his turn?
I kind of assumed that was going to take most of his turn because he's got to kind of make sure it goes the way he wants it to.
Okay.
Like I said, when that ice billow comes in, he's going to be concentrating on the enemies he wants it to hit. He's going to see how bad it's going to affect them, and that way he can prep for the next thing.
They're going to be slowed, and the mud of the field is going to be turned to ice or slush. So the retreating members of their force are probably going to be slowed down there, and it's not going to be long enough and cold enough for them to freeze to death out there, but they're not. Their morale has certainly been hit.
Did I freeze the streams with that? Wasn't there streams or water that the one unit came up from?
Yes. Well, we can say that creek is frozen now.
Okay. Where am I in relation to my compatriots? I know they're headlong in battle, but
They say about 100 yards away, down the hill and across the creek. They did not get to move very far away from you.
Okay.
Keep in mind.
Yeah. I will. Yeah. Unfortunately, at the moment, he's not going to do a whole lot more other than see the fruition of their circle magic and keep an eye on his compatriots to see if he needs to start going down or not.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure he saw his 2 friends slice through about 12.5 troops on their own, so he's not too worried about them.
With that, we're going to roll morale for information that Batrazeus has been doing a number on. And amazingly, they hold. Information 2. Not near as well, but they're going to stay put. Now, Roland, you do now have a clear-ish path towards those 2 sorcerers.
Okay.
You did not get to see them sacrifice anybody as you were preoccupied. And that unit in front of you is beginning to rout.
Okay.
What do you wish to do for your turn?
He is going to start heading that way. He's going to try to rally a group of at least a dozen or so of his own side to follow him.
Okay.
And hopefully get Batrazeus's attention as well, and sort of point up there to charge. But one of the things he's going to do is be looking at what they're doing, and he's going to try to figure out what they're doing. So it'll be a ritual test, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. See if we can get a general idea. Probably not very good, actually. That's gonna be a total of an 8. So yeah, that's not very high.
Well, you're not paying a whole lot of attention. You're looking
Yeah.
through and trying to make sure you're not going to get hit. They've got a cauldron there, and they're working some corrupted magic there. You have a very bad feeling coming off of that area.
Okay, he'll under his mask, he'll smile a bit and charge up. He has a little present for them.
All right, that's going to be your turn then. You'll arrive in on your next turn, the next scene. Batrazeus, what do you do here?
He does a quick assessment of the troops that he fights beside, and it seems that the tide has been turned, at least for our unit.
Yeah. The mixed group of warriors, the Fey, Mortal, and Ogre troops that are there, you guys are doing pretty well. It surprises you, to be perfectly honest. You're the only professional soldier here that you are aware of.
He yells out to those men. So he's not in command or anything. Who's the commander of our little?
There is a captain. He's actually a Nemercian chieftain. I did not actually. Oh shit! Hang on, I didn't get a name for him. Damn it! Let me just get something here for you quick. I didn't think that you guys would need one. Well, no, that's actually a really good question. We can call this bastard Finn. But no, he is a Nemercian champion of his village. He's leading a group of 16 spearmen there. You guys are kind of attached to his formation there. He sees you. He salutes you with his spear as he jogs on by. What do you need of him?
I'm going to go kill those trolls on the hill. They're doing dark magic.
He looks, sees the horror that they have been committing up there, and he nods, says nothing, and he starts running that direction with his spears behind him.
Yeah, off I go.
Okay. That'll be your turn. Now, one of these trolls is going to be engaged by a handful of Arborians that seem to be gotten there first quick, and one of these Arborians gets his spear in to the thigh of one of these trolls and actually disrupts their spell. But he is quickly battered away with this big troll backhand, and it actually shatters his spine as he dies instantly a few dozen feet away. And the second troll adds another something to the cauldron as we go back to Ilmatar. your ritual has been completed here at this point. What does Ilmatar wish to do for his scene?
Don't really know what he could do at the moment that wouldn't be useless. Because they're, well, a couple hundred yards away now.
Yeah.
These troll sorcerers are a couple hundred yards away now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have anything to directly screw with them. Do I have any troops between me and there, or is it kind of been cleared out?
It's mostly clear by now. Any of the enemy that's still in that area is trying to regroup into the shield wall that's on the other side of the field, or the other, I suppose, the other column formed up with your Fey cousins, or is running for the hills.
Okay. Are any of the other wardens that I coordinated with, do they see the trolls, or are any of them doing anything?
Oh, they're a couple of them are actually preparing for the next ritual or another ritual. None of them have started yet. You are probably one of the highest ranked wardens in the area here, so a couple of these guys are just kind of looking to you for, well, what do you want to do next, sir?
Of course.
A couple of the fair folk are actually retrieving their bows and possibly beginning to try and arrow storm into the enemy behind the adjacent line.
Do we have any priests of the Burning Fury around?
Not on your guys' side, no.
Damn it. Okay. Do we have any of the Crushing Depths?
No. There are no sea priests here. At least not on your side.
Fun. Yeah, right. Yeah, not on our side. Jackasses. Okay, that takes out trying to screw with the elements for him. Do I have any others of the Silent Monolith? Or am I the only one of that around?
Including you, there's 5.
Okay. I'm going to tell them that I'm going to go down to join my comrades and run interference.
Okay.
That they need to see if they can pray to the Silent Monolith to, God, I'm trying to think of the right word for it, to rupture the earth underneath the cauldron.
Okay.
Something to topple it, stop it, delay what they are doing.
Okay.
And essentially, if need be, I will go down there and kick it over myself. Or at least try to. And then with that, yeah, I will go off at a run to catch up with my comrades.
Okay. So just to clarify, you're directing them to put together that ritual. You are not going to be aiding them.
Right.
Okay. Then they're going to. Actually, they are going to prepare and pray. And since Ilmatar is running up to regroup with his people,
The hustling and the jingling and the jangling when he goes too.
Hell yeah, man. Do it. A going over my battle notes here. Okay. Now. Ooh. Oh my God. Stop. All right. That's done. That's not good. That's not good at all. The right hand, excuse me, the right flank of the Atlantean army is pushing your guys' right flank back, and they only have two pips on that side left. The tide of this battle has now turned back into the Atlantean favor as Roland enters the scene with these two trolls very quickly trying to save their ritual. You step in as a troll steps on a Nemercian tribesman and shatters his pelvis. And he's muttering, for whatever reason, this troll is able to mutter what alien troll sigils and syllables while stomping some poor bastard to death. What does Roland do?
As Roland gets there within the area of this, he pauses at the edge of this ritual area, holds out his right hand, palm up, and says in Shadow Feywise, "Feldane, take it," and closes it, snuffing the fire.
Nice. That fire goes out. As I didn't actually get to ask you beforehand, but make a life force test.
Okay.
You've already stuffed the fire out. We're going to say that these two things happen at the same time.
Okay. So that is going to be a total of spirit.
Dice level plus
23.
23. All right. They have sacrificed at least 4 people. What looks to be 4 young mortal women, as you see a couple of limbs hanging out of this pot. The fire goes out, and you're close enough to attack should you wish to.
Oh, I thought the exertion of will and of channeling Feldane would take the round.
Nope.
Oh, okay. In that case, yeah, he's going to swing it at one of these trolls, the closest one. He's going to miss.
What'd
I
you
guarantee you that. I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Oh.
So that's going to be a total of a 5. So
shit. Yeah, he rolled a 19 for his defense. I shouldn't say he. This troll, unfortunately, is a woman, and she is hideous. Yeah, no, you don't want to look at another woman after a while. This is a shadow fae talking.
That's probably why he missed.
Yes.
That's probably why he missed.
God, you're ugly. Now, she is gonna try to counterattack and try to give you the boot. She is fucking enormous with a 14 on her attack here.
It's gonna be a 16 on the defense.
Yeah, no, she she tries and punts you, and you're gonna step out of the way easily.
Yeah.
Batrazeus.
I felt the wind and the stench, though.
Yeah, no, she doesn't even smell good down there. Ugh. Anyway, Batrazeus, you are next.
Okay. Batrazeus stomps up the hill, his huge feet slamming into the earth. The bronze of the hauberk shushing as he closes ground, and he slams into the other troll while swinging the blade back around for the back of the head shot.
Make me an attack roll. Trolls are only slightly taller than you. Slightly.
21.
What'd you get?
21.
21. Oh, shit. Ooh, you're gonna dispatch on him. It's actually a male troll. 3 times.
Okay. 17 points.
Oh my god. Well. Fantastic. He's not dead. But
the force of his charge moves him beyond, and he spins to a readied position to receive a blow and continue on.
okay. All right, so the first and second troll. Now, for the sake of Ilmatar's scene here, we go to the bottom of the hill where Ilmatar is now just mounting the hill. If you have a bow, you can shoot from this range and be still well within. Here.
No ranged weaponry.
Damn it. All right, so you can charge up the hill.
Yeah, we'll be doing that.
All right, fantastic. We're gonna go back to Roland here. Roland, this troll woman, as she kind of just steals a moment to look back at her mate, and she lets out this horrible banshee cry. Horrible thing, and it's just ear-splitting terribleness, and she flies into a rage, and she completely ignores you as she tries to pounce on Batrazeus for having a go at her man. She's not gonna disengage. You get an attack on her as she tries to lunge away.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go for it with the blade and see if he can't put a hole in her.
Do it.
Oh. Okay. It's 15 plus. It's an 18.
18. Oh, I think you got her. Yeah, you're gonna dispatch on her 4 times.
Okay.
Wow.
So 14.
14 points. As she tries to lunge away, her claws leading here. Describe for us how you cut her open.
As she turns to lunge away, since she had tried to stomp me before, I'm assuming that her foot is still sort of in position there. So what he does is he lunges forward with his blade and comes across the back of her calf, just below the knee, and tries to lay he tries to get in there and actually cut possibly the tendons of the knee, but of course troll flesh is tough and it's a very deep thing in the leg, but he does lay that back of that leg open though. So.
Batrazeus, you're going to you have a troll woman coming after you.
Hey.
And you're ready for an attack. So get her.
Okay, so I'm defending.
This is actually your attack here. She's turning, and if she survives,
Gotcha.
she's gonna finish her attack. But for the sake of the scene, you attacked him and then whirled around to defend against another one, and she's just coming in. So you're just like, oh, bam,
free shot.
Right?
21.
20. Oh, 21. Shit. Oh. You just barely miss her, like by inches. Wow.
Gotcha.
You cut a bit of her hair, and she stinks. She's not a clean woman. She's coming. The male troll, he staggers back a few feet, and he's gonna attempt to counter and try to have a go at Batrazeus again. God dang it all. For a 28, I need defense from Batrazeus.
That's pretty tough.
This might.
Oh. 21.
Oh, fuck. Okay. He's going to dispatch on you twice there. Oh, no. Okay. Large creatures, 2 die.
Get that damage resist though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I was just about to say something.
Yeah.
That is okay. After dispatch, that is 19 damage coming in.
Ouch. Okay.
So 1d8 plus your damage resist.
Right.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, we always forget that.
Yeah, we always forget the armor test.
Okay, that takes 9 off.
All right. What's that?
Takes 9 off.
Okay. Perfect. You're only taking 10 right there. Fantastic. Good. Thank you, Keith, because I just saw I've got my armor test mechanic in a notepad on a different part of my my desktop here. Thank you. Now for the troll woman's turn, she's gonna try and come at Batrazeus with a 19 on her attack.
Okay. That is 20.
Okay, perfect. She's gonna try and sink her claws into you, but it's mostly gonna be armor. Him, on the other hand, he sinks his teeth into whatever gap that he can find between your jawbone and your breastplate. Like, trying to go for your jugular, but there's just so much ogre muscle there, and he's just trying to. Ilmatar, as you enter this scene, you saw this male troll come in and try to basically try to eat Batrazeus' face off, and Roland tried to cut the female troll's Achilles tendon. What do you do in this scene?
Oh, is the magic user going to do a stupid?
Well, is he?
How close am I to either one of the trolls?
You could step up and attack. Well, the closest one to you would be the troll woman.
And it's her back to me, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah. You would be attacking her unawares. She is raging right now because somebody attacked her man.
Okay, so her and Roland are going at it, but Roland looks like he has the upper hand. At least in that split second I'm seeing it.
No, both of the trolls are trying to kill Batrazeus. Roland is off on the side. He hasn't stepped forward.
So
yet.
If I can get the female unawares, I'm going to go up and whack her with my my Fey Ironside quarterstaff here.
Yep.
Do I get a bonus to her being unawares?
She gets a -4 to her defense.
$27.
Oh yeah, she cannot answer that with a big whopping 6. So yeah, you're gonna cap. Excuse me. You're gonna max out dispatch. Wow, that painkiller really has me scatterbrained tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Ooh.
So dispatch caps at 5, correct?
Yep, +5.
20 points.
20 points. They're not wearing armor. But trolls have a lot of vitality. She's not dead, but she's looking pretty bad now. Next, we go to Roland, Batrazeus, and then Troll 1, Troll 2.
So Roland so far has been using that long blade in his left hand. He at this point lunges forward since he sees Ilmatar deal that massive blow to the female, but he sees the male latched into Batrazeus. He's gonna switch targets to the male.
He's honest to God, he's trying to fucking eat him.
Right. So he looks to his other side for his short blade he has, which he does get 2 attacks with.
Excellent.
So and he's going to basically try to jam this thing into vital parts of the thing's leg that he can reach.
Is this going to be a called shot?
It's just what he can reach.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking this guy's.
You're
I'm only
aiming
5.5
there, but
feet
it's not
tall.
a called shot.
It's like I'm attacking him, but I'm not going to be hitting him in the back because that's way up there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. So the first one is a measly 8.
A measly 8.
Yeah.
Is that after bonuses or
Yes.
is it 8 on the die?
It's 8 what he totally I've got on that one.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't explode. Excellent.
No.
Well,
As a
shit,
total
I
of 8.
wanted it to explode. Never mind me.
I wish. The next one is going to be a 15
Damage?
15 attack.
Oh,
Well, we can tell you if the 8 hit or not. So,
the 15 does get through.
all right.
You beat him by 2 points.
Roll the damage for that. So, 18 points of damage on that.
Ooh.
It exploded.
Excellent.
8 then a 7.
He's very bad now. He is in a very bad way.
Okay.
That is now Batrazeus, you have a troll and a half on top of you trying to they're for whatever reason they're ignoring your companions, and the troll woman is trying to get your helmet off. The male is trying to tear out your jugular. Please do something.
Okay, so interestingly, he doesn't know where Roland is.
Nope.
Because there's troll in between me and Roland. He also doesn't know that Ilmatar is even there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's taking advantage of the fact that the one troll is basically on top of him. And
I would think that you're probably prone at this point. And he's on top of you. It's kind of like pig piling.
Well,
That's
that's
what
kind
I'm
of
seeing.
what I'm taking advantage of, because he essentially braces that broadsword against his hip in the ground and lets the troll fall on it.
Okay, there you go. Attack roll, please. This might. I hope this ends him. I really do.
That's a 26.
He gets a 9. He's not paying attention. That is. Yep, that's
That's max dispatch.
Yep, max dispatch. There you go. Yeah. Get him, please. Thank you.
Okay.
That'd be great.
13, 5, 18.
Describe for us how you slay this troll.
So the troll that even outweighs Batrazeus, and it's on top of him, and he maneuvers the blade so it slips underneath his rib cage, and he makes sure that he falls straight down so the blade pops up past his sternum through the bottom of his jaw and emerges somewhere near his left eye socket.
I love it.
The body falls over to the side, and he slips the blade back out.
All right. We've taken him out of the fight. The troll woman sees that you have slain her mate, and she again lets off this horrible blood-curdling peal. And you kind of you hear the anguish in her voice, but nevertheless, she's obviously evil and sided with the enemy, but she is going to try and have another go at Batrazeus with renewed vigor. And my dice hate me this evening, and she gets a whopping 5.
Okay.
Not very ferocious in her anger.
17 on my defense.
Okay. Ilmatar, we go him next. This poor woman, she's just
completely raging, still unawares, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Have we established what a called shot does in this system?
Yep, it's -4 to your attack.
Okay, so if she's unawares and I do a called shot, it's going to even out.
Roundabout, yeah.
See, how tall is she?
Troll women have that whole oh my god, what is it? It's like sexual dimorphism. They're a lot smaller than the men. She's about the size of a tall human woman.
Okay, so I got plenty of them. Okay, I'm gonna try a headshot her.
Go for it.
With that big old iron, staff of mine.
Back of the head.
Ball swing it. 23.
23. Ooh. Yeah. You're gonna dispatch on her 3 times.
Okay. Do we get anything extra for the called shot? Or just the fact that it's going to impact her in the noggin?
I think
because that's 20 points again to the head.
Well, if it at 20 points, you're gonna slay her outright. You're gonna collapse the back of her head. You can describe for us how you slaughter her, right? Quite literally.
Yeah, literally, he's gonna grab that staff like he's gonna go, smash open a pinata if he knew what one was, and he's just gonna bring that thing up, and he's gonna freaking come down like a goddamn samurai in a freaking duel going at it, and quite literally cave her skull in.
You're going to be spattering Batrazeus with gore and gray matter there. And that scene will actually come to its end. The rest of the battle is actually raging on behind you. But that particular scene is ended. Now, your fellows on the adjacent hillside, they're not doing so great. You hear, well, at least the Fae of the party with their keen senses, they will actually hear cheers from the Atlantean side, crying the name Myos. Roland, at least, will know that Myos is one of the Atlantean heroes. And the way he is, I suppose, to you guys, Myos is to the Red Baron as the Red Baron it was to the British during World War I. Is absolute terror, and the Allied formation for you guys starts to crumble underneath that morale. What do you guys do here as you've just disrupted these trolls? and their ritual.
Well, immediately upon hearing that name, Roland's going to look for him, see if he can spot him.
It's hard not to see the red painted cape. I've seen the red painted shield, the piratical sash of scarlet, and the scarlet cape. As the Red Lord of Atlantis. Yeah, he's not hiding.
Okay. I'm assuming he's in the middle of like a large group. He's
yeah.
not. Yeah. Okay. He's gonna note what he sees, study him for a second, and then he's gonna start looking through the stuff these trolls have. This is intel.
There is a cage with naked mortal women, very put upon mortal women, just nearby. They have implements of mandrake, of this gray dust, grave dirt that you see in there. Some like provisions in regards to like foodstuffs for trolls, which is obviously horrible shit.
Yeah.
And it looks like basically the accoutrements of a mystic.
Okay.
A foul mystic, but still.
So his next action is going to be release the women.
Okay.
And then I'll let the guys talk about what they're going to do while I'm doing that. So.
Batrazeus.
Roland, there is no time for that. We must get back to the fight. Come on. And he starts heading down the hill.
Roland looks up as he's cutting through the binding. Says, "I'll be there. You've got this." He cuts open the. I guess if there's a, is it like tied shut, or is it a like an actual metal chain locked? Or
no, it's a kind of a roughshod wooden cage tied together with twine and shit, so you can like just a few minutes.
He'll bust it open.
Yeah.
He'll bust it open.
Doing?
The first thing Ilmatar is going to do is he's actually going to shatter that cauldron.
Okay.
After that, if Roland mentioned there being grave dust and other components, he will go over and try to deduce what was being done ritual-wise.
Make me an occult insight test here.
Oh, look at that. I got that one at 8 ranks.
I would hope so.
Oh, duh. The 20.
Um, 20. Now, it looks like they were trying to now you're a priest. You deal with your gods and the spirits of the wilds. Now, a warden would be familiar with spirits of the woodlands, spirits of the wild, that sort of thing. Probably not in regards to like ancestor spirits of any kind like that, but you can deduce that these trolls were attempting to make the spirits of your allies sick. Like they were specifically creating a ritual to make the the connection that your priests and your mystics and your wardens have the connection with the realm of the Fae, the realm of the magic, the realm of the spirit world. They were trying to make that connection sick.
Spiritual miasma.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm assuming these trolls didn't have notes on them. Because they're fucking trolls.
If you would like to search this encampment, you can look for them.
Roland, you two got this, right?
Roland, as he sends the ladies on their way back toward their line with a lingering glance, just says, "Of course."
Ilmatar will go search then.
A couple of these mortal women don't want to actually leave Roland at this moment. He sends them back, and they're like, "But we don't want to.
You'll be safe there. Wait for me after the battle. I'll return."
They just kind of like they kind of a couple of them grab each other's like hands, and they kind of give the battle a very wide berth.
Okay. He'll start leisurely walking towards where Batrazeus is stomping off at, and casually yells at one of the other fellows that are there, "Bring me a bow."
A Nemercian, a young man. I say young man. He's a 16-year-old kid. Barely 2 seasons old at this point. He brings you a bow and a deer hide quiver with 14 copper arrows in it.
Okay, he'll take the bow and attach the quiver to his belt so they're accessible, sheath his blades, and test it as he's walking along. Draw one of the arrows.
Now, Ilmatar, make me an awareness test here. As you're the only one on this hilltop at this point. Your companions have left. The other troopers in this area have left with your companions or attempted to raid the baggage train beyond the hill. You're the only one here now. You've got relative safety here. You are free to ransack the place should you wish to. My only question is, how thorough are we doing this here? Is this like a take 10 or like a take 20 kind of thing?
25 on an awareness. At the moment, I mean, if this was any normal enemy, he would have just went to looting stuff he needed. With these guys being the casters that they were, the mystics that they were, foul as they may be, he's actually going to be looking for stuff directly related to this ritual they were trying to do, or any other ritual in the making that could undo the world in his eyes.
Okay.
So honestly, unless he passes by something real pretty, I mean, really pretty,
right?
If it's mundane in nature, he's gonna be like, "Oh, okay," and he's gonna move on.
Now, with a 25, that essentially would be equivalent to a take 20 in Dungeons and Dragons here. Now, you find quite a few of their materials. The gray dust that I told you about earlier is bone dust. Who or what's bone dust? We don't know. You're going to need to take more time. Should you take a sample of it? That's up to you. Now,
Ilmatar has a multitude of pouches, clay jugs, and other items to hold things in. So yes, he would definitely be taking samples.
Okay.
I do have apothecary as well, if that would help deduce it.
You'd need a lot more time than you have to do that. But
Okay.
yes, do
That's
take
fine.
samples.
I will take it back for later, yes.
You find a series of clay tablets, which look to be their notes. They were trying to sicken the spiritual connection of other sorcerers in the area. Excuse me, other mystics in the area. You can deduce that. There are a couple rituals which resemble some very primitive necromancy, as well as another ritual that send a chill up and down your spine. There's a cult that a distant ancestor would shiver at, the cult of the darkened face. There is half a rune to the black halo here in a clay tablet. And that was the focal point of this ritual. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5 clay tablets here. One of which is half complete and the focal point. The other 4 are miscellaneous here.
Well, they're going into a bag, or at least he's holding them.
Yeah. You have captured rituals here that need to be disposed of or locked away. There are quite a few different sorts of supplies for apothecary. You know that trolls are very good healers in that regard. For whatever reason, they're just very skilled at it. They just don't use it. Troll poison craft is very sought after. They have
supply-wise, unless there's something that he has not seen before, like the stuff for the ritual is one thing, and he needs to study that. If he's coming across stuff he knows what it is, he's going to put a note, basically a mental note, and say, well, when I get back to the wardens, we need to ransack this place and take everything. Right. If he finds a unique component or a component he has not seen yet, that's when he will take Paul's. Otherwise, if he finds anything for, I guess, recipes, so to speak, notes on apothecary or poison craft or whatever. So
that'd be the most valuable to him then?
At the moment, yes, because he's looking for more information than loot.
Okay.
Because the loot, this hill is taken. When he goes back, he just tells the rest of the wardens or the troops of, hey, we have a troll encampment, ransack everything. We need the spell components for our mystics. That part's taken care of. But if it's recipes or rituals or something he can glean information from right now, he wants to get that. That way he can ensure that gets taken to basically the highest warden or mystic in the area so that they can share it out to the rest of the sects and everything.
Okay. Well, that's the case then. You've basically got everything of value in regards to that.
Okay. Yeah. So if he's got all that, as much as he saw his companions running off after the Atlanteans, he needs to get this information to the wardens and the mystics first. So he's actually going to go back to, I guess, base camp. Okay. And then he will veer over afterwards.
All right. Well, it was Ilmatar's turn. Back to Roland and Batrazeus. Batrazeus, are you just planning to join that melee and have all with it, or?
Well, I figure there were. Roland didn't have a chance to point out the Myos fellow. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I notice him, but we are on the back side. of the Atlantean formation.
Yep.
And there's a dozen or so guys still with me. Is that correct? Or is
About
it
a
just
dozen and a half, yeah. They're kind of pairing off with other combatants on that side, and it's kind of devolved into more single combat in this area than a mass of limbs and metal.
okay? So he is basically going to give this formation something else to think about, and he just yells to these other men, "Just keep them off my back!" And he wades in.
Excellent. What do you roll for your attack here?
18.
18. Fantastic here. Well, actually, we're not going to do single combat here. Roll me a D8. We're going to do narrative combat here for this portion of the scene. You're going to wade in and see how many guys you kill off.
That was 6.
6. Right. So the mountain of bronze that is Batrazeus, describe for us how you are an ogreish battering ram on these boys here.
Turn and face me! As he charges at them. One doesn't actually get a chance to turn because he's slammed in the back with a shield and trampled. But then the next couple begin to turn and face him, and they are met with sharpened bronze, slightly dulled on captain and horse flesh and on troll flesh, but it still services. So just hacking limbs off one after the other, leaving them screaming in the mud.
And they will be screaming for their mermaid mothers here shortly as the terror that is Roland enters the scene.
So Roland is going to be coming in to say with that he's gone to the bow now. He's a little more picky about what he's dealing with. He's not going to be getting in the middle of the melee. But should I roll a d8 to see how many he takes out with this bow?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got, what did I say, 14 copper arrows?
Yeah, 14 arrows, yeah. All right. So he has
obviously don't explode beyond 14. You'll run out of ammo.
Fine. No, it's fine. So he sees Batrazeus
pierce through. Come on now, pierce through.
Yeah, of course. Charging forward into these men, and after his call, he sees several of them turn and start charging towards him. And he takes a moment and he pauses and looks, chooses first target and lets fly. Takes the first to the neck as he's charging Batrazeus and drops him. Fires another that's coming out and takes him down. That's coming from on Batrazeus' flank. One fellow tries to throw his sword up and rally troops to turn. As he opens his mouth, he catches an arrow in it, silencing him. And then two others, he sees them turn as if to possibly run back to join the reinforcements, and he puts an arrow in each of their backs. So,
right in the spine. And they fall. With that, we go to the others. Now, the Atlanteans with their field commander, as well as Myos, the Red Lord, showing up, and they're leaders that lead from the front, which is kind of a rarity amongst tribal people, and they're giving the confederated tribes, who are almost entirely wiped out at this point. The Arborians are still holding on. The Fae with that frozen river being trampled, with the golden colored fey blood as well as the green blood mixed of the mortals, that river runs with this kind of sickly brown, kind of like almost like sap and mud and sweat. Now it's this line surges back and forth, almost like a big snake made of shield walls and shield wall and bodies. We have a few moments here as that scene almost fades to black, and we find Oron on the escarpment above. As he looks down, you see the carnage, and you've been hearing the whispers of revenge from your cousins, the Fae, as well as the confederated tribes on that fight with them. But you do see one mortal woman that stands out to you. Her thick auburn hair is matted to her by the blood of the enemy and her own sweat. She wears a leather jerkin with bronze plates riveted to this, making a kind of a primitive bronze hauberk, if you will, a reinforced leather hauberk. And your keen Fey eye sees this. She is not a common Nemercian woman. Her shield is an oval. It is dented by maces and scarred by lances and axes and other bladed weapons. Her shield is of goblin wrought bronze. Her broadsword is also of goblin worked bronze, and her helmet is of Fey origins. Fey worked bronze is more sleek, more beautiful to you. And you hear her cries. She's not injured, but she roars a battle cry, and you think back to a lifetime ago. That mortal woman that took you in after you were banished. Her name echoes in your mind, almost like a half-forgotten dream. The name Mirai. The woman who touched vengeance itself and took vengeance in when vengeance was homeless and banished. So it was a knot that comes into your throat. You must to her aid.
So with that, he leaps down from the area that he's been standing at, and swiftly runs down the hill in that hunter's lope, down to her side. Are there any combatants near her?
She is holding back about 24 boys by herself.
All right, then he is going to release. Let me get over to him.
As you close that distance, she actually turns with a kind of a two-step shield bash whirl as she catches the rim of the shield on an Atlantean trooper's jaw. She shatters his jaw, takes his nose off of his face, just cuts him wide the fuck open, and some bits of his jaw just fly off.
Okay.
You hear this just resounding bang crack. Okay. She slaughters him right then and there, and a mace comes down, hits her on the opposite side, just above her left eyebrow there, and you're upon her.
Okay. As he approaches, he is going to draw his bow and draw one of those black fletched arrows out. The one who dared strike her with the mace is getting the first shot.
Are you using your enchanted arrows that you got from
Yes.
the Pike Lord? Those are the golden fletched arrows of
Golden
the golden
fletched,
goose.
Yes. So yeah, the golden fletched arrows, the black arrows are the other ones.
The ones that will not break on this realm of existence.
Right. So he draws that to his cheek and lets fly.
Is this at point blank range?
This is he's going to stop just at what's considered not melee, but one step back from melee. So it's very, very close range.
Close range,
yes.
not hand to hand. Okay.
So he lets fly that one for a let's see, a total attack of half that.
He is going to be caught unawares. He gets a -4.
So that's going to be an 18 to that.
Roll damage.
Okay.
You're probably not going to need to because that arrow is going to slaughter him.
That's going to be a total of 22 points of damage.
That arrow, it disappears into his eye socket and bursts through the back of his head. You can describe for us how he topples and dies.
So as he topples back, as he's beginning to fall with this arrow through the eye, before he even has a chance to even fall, 2 more arrows are streaking out at his compatriots around her.
Excellent.
So as I said, the one shot to the face, the next one is going to be a 16. And the last one,
that's going to be a dispatch 3 on him.
The last is going to be a 21.
Okay. The last attack you will dispatch once on him.
All right. So the other one, the first one, which I dispatched 3 times, is going to be that's going to be a 17. The other one is going to be a 13.
God damn. Triple down. Well done. These guys topple within seconds of each other. You can describe it for them. How?
As I said, these arrows go flying out just very, very briskly from the bow. One of them actually is going to, as it passes by her, the fletching is going to kiss her cheek. As the fellow that's charging from the front takes it square in the face. The other one is hitting the throat. And the 3 topple almost simultaneously. As he arrives at her side, looks over at her and says, "You called? What is your bidding?"
Sorry, I was muted. She was hit. She staggers a few feet away, and with her sword hand, she reaches up and grabs the plume and pulls it off of her head. And she lets her auburn hair out. That's not Mirai, but it looks very similar to her. Like possibly her daughter or her granddaughter. Maybe even her great granddaughter. It's been almost 150 cycles here. And she just looks up. She looks into Oron's eyes and she smiles. Shihan, is that you? My babushka said you weren't gone. You went to the realm of the fairies, and then as the battle is raging around you, the scene is taking place. She said that you'd come back.
Yes, I haven't heard that name since, before you were born. Your Mirai knew me well, and I owe her. What is your bidding?
She kind of wipes the blood and the mud sweat from her face. She says, "See me through this fight."
He nods, retrieves his arrows, and guards her.
I need, well, in this scene, actually, they'll rejoin the companions. I need reaction tests from Oron as well as Sanita. Mike, could you roll me a reaction test and add 4 to it?
Sure. $19.
Nice.
26.
In a different portion of this battle, Roland, you just slew a few of your boys, or say from a few of your targets. Now we go back to Batrazeus. Batrazeus, you see the honor guard of the Atlantean field commander there. Myos, the Red Lord, is still kind of in the thick of it, kind of doing the whole Achilles thing at the Battle of Troy. Pick your targets. You got a target-rich environment, man.
Yeah, so not really being aware of Myos or who that is or what that means, but I see a field commander, so I'm heading that way.
Get him.
So I'm sure the honor guard's going to intercede.
Oh, they see you coming and they don't want any of that.
So can I get to him, or am I have to deal with them first?
We're gonna say narrative combat. I want to see how many of these honor guard that you can take. These guys are tough.
Right.
Roll me a d8, and we'll see what happens here.
That is an 8.
An 8, because these guys are actually very well trained, very well drilled. You hate to admit it, these guys are terrific fighters. So you will actually slay half of that number,
Right.
Before the rest of that troop notices you. You can describe for us how deft and skillful that they are, and in the process, you will take 3 points of vitality damage as these terrific fighters sink knives into you, or sink their blades into you.
A trained fighter doesn't just know about brute strength; they know how to deflect it, and that is what these men recognize immediately has to be done with Batrazeus. They cannot stand against those blows, so they deflect them, and they let those blows carry Batrazeus off his balance and take the opportunity to stick him here and there. The armor holds for the most part, but he does get bloody a little bit more. Even so, that arm is really long, and there's an awful lot of power behind it. And when it lands hard. And so 4 of them fall, not all at once, in 1s and 2s. It takes some time, but they still fall.
The field commander here notices your fighting, and you see as the 4th body falls of his personal staff, he takes his helmet off, the commander does, and just chucks it aside. It's like arrogant noble like, and he gets down from his horse, his primordial striped horse, and he calls for a servant to bring him his sword and shield, and he strides over into your midst, confident as shit, and he's oh God, he's about 15 feet away from you, just out of sword length, and with his war sword, he holds it up, he kisses it, salutes you, and then chucks it in the ground, blade first, and in broken Feywise, he's got a real thick accent. He calls you out in single combat. He's with kind of like this. He's kind of got a bit of a raspy, almost kind of like a smoker's kind of rasp to him. He says, "You are the most monstrous fighter I have seen of this mainland. I would see what you bring me." And he just kind of like shifts his breastplate on him, and he barks an order to the rest of his compatriots to the tune of like, "Clear a space," and he's challenged you to a duel.
So Bartradeo slaps that broadsword against his broad shield, and there's this whack, and he says, "I accept. Lay on."
He actually gives you a very smart, very curt bow. He's the enemy, but clearly he's a gentleman in his own culture. Just takes the sword out of the dirt, and this is where we go to single combat here. I need you to roll another reaction test.
Oh, these explode.
Yeah.
27.
27. Fantastic. Oh my God! Wow! Oh shit! Okay, so he doesn't crit fail, but he's you know what? He is going to use a fucking fate point.
Okay. All
right, that's his one. You scored high, so he's actually gonna go first here. 27. We're just gonna put him at 28 for his reaction here. And now that will become a different scene. And now, Roland, well, actually, Mike, that's actually a really good point. Batrazeus, you can use a fate point to negate his.
I will do so.
You can do so. Oh my God!
The gods have no place in this fight.
Oh shit! Okay. All right. First fate point used in the first session. You have 2 remaining now.
Okay.
Okay, that will be a different scene here. We go back to Roland. Actually, Roland and Ilmatar now. Ilmatar was higher on the reaction. What is he now doing? Or say he's actually depositing those supplies back at the.
Has he gotten back to base camp by now?
I would think so.
Or wherever the other wardens were.
Yeah, you guys can go back to you can now actually have gone back to your HQ. Enough time has passed.
Okay. Am I literally the highest warden and mystic on our side?
No, there is one higher than you.
Okay. I will go to him. I will give him the tablets, the information, tell him where the troll encampment is, and then, unless he needs me for something, I am going to go to the last place I saw Raylan and Batraceus go.
Okay.
Essentially,
does not require.
Here's the jackpot of components and area that we have. I'm going to go help my friends now.
Okay. You mark it on his map, and he sends a detachment over there.
Yeah.
Next,
I will also give him the samples of the bone dust and stuff.
Okay.
As well as anything else. But yeah.
Perfect. We will regroup with Roland. So Ilmatar and Roland are in the same scene now. Roland, what are you doing for your?
So he had actually been drawing up upon this this figure with the intent of feathering him when the hero, the Atlantean hero, he was going to try.
Myos? Okay.
Yeah, so he sees this, and he sees this this challenge and Vatrizeus's acceptance of it, and he shakes his head. Well, he'll then take the couch the arrow, and instead of basically he's going to keep it looking at the rest of these soldiers. Are any of them? Does this seem to be a ruse to lure Vatrizeus into a trap where they can surround him and attack him?
No, the rest of the field commander's honor guard there is actually giving them space. No, they're
okay.
In that regard, your knowledge of Atlanteans, they're very much by the rules.
Okay. In that case, what he's going to do then is he's going to take the arrow and put it back in his quiver, reach down under the wraps that serve as his tunic, and pull out his holy symbol and kiss it and whisper into it, sending a message to the commander of his brethren who have been sort of hanging back, using whisper on the wind. And he says, now's the time. They are distracted. Point.
A few moments later, your field commander there, he replies, "We move when the king of Arborea tells us to move."
Roland sort of shakes his head, or Raylan sort of shakes his head. Perfect time. And he's going to take the time. We're behind them, so he's going to take the time to basically see if he can't sneak around and find useful info, useful things that he might be able to get. See if he can get to like the back to their camp.
If you want to, you're absolutely welcome to.
Is it a long way away, or is it like right there?
It's quite a ways behind them.
Okay. In that case, he'll go in to look at their supplies. Then if there's supplies closer,
their baggage train.
Yeah, see if he can get in there and possibly get some useful information out of it. Maybe what the kind of things they eat. Get an account of their ammunition. Anything he can possibly get that will be good intel to bring back. Because Vatrizeus, of course, has this.
Oh, yeah.
Sure he does.
You just got called out by their big boss. Oh, fuck. I personally, as the narrator, I would very much rather you fight a field commander Adrian than Myos right now.
Yeah, I think I would
Okay. Roland, when you do get to their baggage train, interestingly enough, they have siege there. They have 3 catapults. Well, I say catapults, they're mangonels. It's a smaller catapult that throws many boulders instead of one big one. But they didn't bring them up.
Okay.
They clearly expected an infantry fight, and they didn't want to risk their own boys being toppled by stones.
Okay. So they won't be using those later once he's done. So that's going to be his focus.
Are you going to sabotage them?
Of course he is.
Do you have engineering?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But are there people tending them?
There's guards there, but there's no. Well, there's. They're not being tended to.
Okay.
Hang on a second. Describe what you mean by being tended to.
As in, are there any people that are there manning them?
No,
Maybe
they're in storage right now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so that's what I thought you meant. I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I want to make sure if there was someone tending them, as in like a person maybe like that knew what he was doing. Well, that's a good way to sabotage it if you take out the person who's going to use it.
Oh,
So,
yes. Okay, yeah.
In that case, he is going to look for a convenient source of flame.
There's plenty of that.
So yeah, so do I need to do a stealth check to make sure he's not noticed as he's gathering this stuff? Or
please do.
Okay. Okay, keep going. Okay, there we go.
Yes, no, maybe.
27.
27. Yeah, you're. It's getting close to nightfall now, but it's
Okay.
You're pretty easy to blend into what shadows are starting to begin to be painted across this camp. But yeah.
So yeah, he's going to then he's going to do his best to get over there and see if he can cause some havoc with putting these things to the torch.
Excellent. You can do that. And with that roll, they are completely unaware of you.
Okay. That's what he'll be doing then.
Okay, what is Roland doing for this scene?
That's what Roland was doing.
Not Roland. Ilmatar, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
I know who I'm talking about.
Was Roland getting a second turn? I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, he evidently does. At least my post-surgery painkiller says he does. If
I rolled burglary and stole yours.
Oh, did you? Excellent. Okay. Is that how that works?
Right.
Ilmatar, go.
What is he coming up across then? Just the duel going on with the honor guard watching excitedly?
There is that. On your way over, you saw Myos slay the king of Fog Warden at this point, a Nemercian chieftain. And things are, at least for the Nemercians, things aren't doing great.
Now, is that like a slaying outright, like off with his head type slaying, or he just stabbed him through?
No, he has been beheaded and his head has been rolled out to his troops. Guan Yu style. He just rode out there, got off his horse, murdered him, and went on to the next guy.
Myos is yours.
Guan Yu style.
Get him.
If you're trying to go,
well, I can't.
Your companions, you're closer to Batrazeus than you are to Myos and the rest of the formation.
The problem is he's a mystic. If he comes up upon the back of an honor guard and they see him, he's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
So I will mention that Batrazeus is really touchy about people interfering in his fights.
Absolutely.
He really he missed the troll thing. He didn't see you guys attacking his target. So that kind of got by. And there were other things going on. So he probably won't figure that out later. But he really doesn't like it when people mess with his fights.
Especially a high-profile opponent
no.
and single combat. No, you might not be forgiven ever.
Right, yeah. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on the cow.
Do you want to watch the duel? It's up to you.
Am I in a spot where I can watch without being seen?
Yes. he could probably kneel in the tall grass there.
Okay. How many of the honor guard are left? Is it just Mios, Bactriceus, and the honor guard there, or are there like regular troops there too?
No, well, the regular troops are in the melee with your allies, and the field commander is with Bactriceus. Mios is nowhere near you guys, and that's two different entities.
I thought Mios was the one he was fighting.
No.
He's fighting a field.
Oh,
commander.
okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't know his name, but player knowledge, his name is Adrian.
Okay. I must have got that one crossed when we were talking about before. That's my bad.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. Ilmatar will actually just, he'll kneel down there in the tall grass and watch this fight go out. He's just going to watch for right now. I was going to fuck around with the honor guard, but I don't want to get caught. So.
Yeah, they would swarm you at this point. Bactriceus, the first attack goes to you, my man. Ooh. And he doesn't have any more fate points left.
Okay. It's 22.
22 for his attack. Oh my god, yeah. Get him. Adrian gets a 28 on his defense.
Okay, all right.
So you describe how your attack comes in. I will describe for you how he defends.
Being wary of a well-trained small man, he makes strides in with the shield, strides in with the shield, strides in with the shield, with his sword nearly completely out of view of his opponent. And then at the last moment, he makes a low swoop towards his legs. But
Adrian is actually going to this whole time he was baiting you into coming to him. And so you come across with a sweep to his legs. He, despite being a mortal, he's only about 5'7", 5'8", in a full bronze kit. He jumps and clears your sword, and he lashes out with his sword, his bronze sword. He cuts you. On your helmet, he gets a miraculously accurate cut just below your eye and along your nose. And what he's gonna do, oh shit, that is 14 points of damage there.
wait, okay, so he rolled his defense and attack?
That was his defense there. Make him, or say you go for armor test there.
Okay.
Okay.
Give him a god like Leonidas. Yeah, no.
So it's 11 points.
11 points. Okay. 11 points of damage there.
That he negates.
Oh, he negates 11 points. Okay, so you take 3. All right, cool. And that is round 1 there. Now, in a different part of the battle, in the thick of the foot, we go back to Oron and Sanita. This is honestly, it is a nightmarish din of screaming men and women dying. The smell of sweat, the cry of dying horses and mortals alike. You see at the top of this hill, actually both of you will see it, the Nemercian king of Fogwarden is beheaded, and Mios throws this head out across the river to the other Nemersians and a mix of Arborians, and she just looks at Oron, looks back at him up on top of the hill, and she charges him.
Okay. So Oron, seeing this, understanding what she means by this, draws the bow, one of his Fey arrows, to his cheek, and he begins to say, in Fey wise, for those around that may actually understand it, a poem. The first verse is, in the ancient dusk of time, a man and his lady lay. Upon his face glowed love's sweet light, his lady of the mystic Fey. Their love was destined dark to be, for evil was the hag, whose magic foul did twist them into the dragon and the stag. And he lets fly. So
Make your attack.
well, that's not awesome, but it's not bad either. So with that, it is going to be.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! Come on now.
It's gonna be a 23.
23.
Yeah.
All right. Shit, he got a 24 on his defense. He'll actually, unbeknownst to him, his shield will be in just the right spot at this point, and one of your arrows will like thunk into his shield, and he essentially ignores it, like he's obviously being assailed by arrows and everything else, as he's almost wearing 3 layers of armor here. There is a cry that goes up that says his skin is made of bronze, and you see from this it looks bronze, but you've met this man before.
Okay.
He is not a statue made of bronze. He is flesh and blood, but his skin might be painted.
Okay, Oron sort of smiles at that, and he thinks to himself, the fates did intervene on his behalf this time, but Vengeance is patient, and he'll draw another arrow and find himself a better vantage point.
Sunita will actually close the distance with him, and she will go toe-to-toe with him in a rather titanic duel here. She comes out, she lashes out with her goblin wrought bronze broadsword, and she catches him on the flat of his blade, and he will counterattack. Actually, he'll actually miss, as she'll kind of pivot to the side, and the point of his sword will actually skip off of her goblin bronze shield. And that'll be the end of that scene. Back to Batrazeus.
Okay. Ooh, that's an 8. That's a 28. Can't hear you.
Oh, no, sorry. You didn't miss anything. I was just doing my math. You're going to dispatch on him twice.
Twice. Awesome.
First blood, or say second blood to the ogre. Get him.
Oop, that blew up.
Ooh.
22 points.
22 points of damage. Shit. Well done. So, all right. I feel a lot coming in here. Let me see. I'm gonna check his armor test here quick. Shit, hang on. Am I actually doing this right? He That's gonna hurt. Honestly, Eric, that's gonna hurt a lot.
Dr. Zaius, as he lands the blow, he says, "Your name, Atlantean, before you draw your last breath, that the bards may sing the song of your death."
He will actually take 12 points out of that.
Ow.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say, I wish with that, that's your sword that came across and he jumped over it. You probably swung back.
Yeah, backhand.
And you're gonna catch him. Not deep enough to disembowel him, but enough to like cut him across his abdomen. And probably a crease quite deep into the leather there of his breastplate. And he'll actually growl at you, and he says, "They call me Adrian. I am Prince of the House of Silver Scales." And he's going to counterattack with, oh shit, quite a bit of ferocity there with a critical.
Okay.
Oh my god. Do you want to roll a D8, or you want me or do you want to do? He just crit on you. Do you want me to roll? Or do you want to roll
great.
it?
Okay. You can roll. That's fine.
You sure? All right. Okay. A 5 on the crit chart. Critical hit.
Sucking chest wound.
Oh, it's a sucking chest wound. God dang it. So, all right. Victim takes 5 additional vitality damage. And has severe bleeding until treated. Batrazeus, you can describe for us how he counterattacks you with fervent ferocity.
Well,
Right.
Batrazeus actually struck him out of the air, down to the ground, and he's a very nimble fellow, and he was able to spring back up and caught underneath the breastplate of the hauberk and got home.
Oh shit! All right. With oh god, he's gonna do 13 points of damage to you after bonuses there.
Okay. Do I get armor on that or no?
Nope, not on crits.
Crits.
And now we go back to Roland and Ilmatar.
So I think Ilmatar was actually ahead of me in the initiative roll. So
Yeah, I know. I'm these are compartmentalized scenes,
Okay.
but Ilmatar does go first.
okay.
You're muted.
I'm assuming I see this part happen.
Oh yeah.
How many honor guard are left?
After the 4 that were slain, 16.
Damn it. Can't cover that many.
It was a troop of 20.
I don't have enough magic to cover thorns on all of them is the problem.
Thorns is actually on you. It's a defensive spell.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it was like entangled version of thorns
Nope.
where I make
Nope.
fucking rise. Okay.
It's essentially a thorn coat from any MMO.
Right, the thorns aura, yeah.
Yep.
Shit. Do I know how honorific the Atlanteans are? Like, if Atreus was to fall, what would they do?
Make me a lore test. I'm gonna say you've probably been fighting them for some time.
$27.
27. If Batrazeus falls, they would at least make the attempt of communicating with his fellows and it possibly returning his body to his fellows, or if they're unable to, they'd give him the proper funeral rites that they would see as a slain honorable soldier in their eyes. And they might just bury him where he falls, like Karen style.
That does weigh a lot.
Yeah. I mean, if you're built like a bulldozer, they're not going to move you.
A bull dies in the field. Guess where it's being buried?
Where is it? So I'm trying to find the skill I need real quick.
Let's go.
There it is. I got it. So I'm going to come out of the high grass.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, when I hold that quarterstaff and I hold it in the middle, it's more of a just walking stick or item of station than I'm going to club you upside the head with this thing.
You're approaching in a non-aggressive fashion. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm also not going to draw attention to myself. Like, if they look back and see me, fine. But if not, I'm going to stay a good 20, 30 feet back.
Okay.
And see what happens from there.
Yeah, a couple of these troopers actually see you, obviously, but they kind of just like, in those moments where Adrian basically plunged his sword to his knuckles in Batrazeus' chest, and he drops down, he takes a couple steps back, he flicks the gore from his sword, and he just kind of like, not necessarily glares down at Batrazeus, not down, but kind of like up, because you're gonna kneel after taking a shot to the chest like that, and he just barks, "Can you continue or no?"
And he stands back up. To the death, little man.
He just kind of looks like, I don't know if he can continue or not look, but he kind of gives you a sardonic smirk, like, all right. You are the next to act.
Hey, let's see how it goes. That's pretty. Let's see. That's 25.
All right. Oh, shit. Wait. Oh, come on. Don't do that. You said 25?
25.
All right. That's a 32 now.
Ah.
It's on his defense there. What does Batrazeus do? How does that attack come in?
It comes straight down.
Just over the shoulder, down.
Yeah,
He's trying to nail him into the ground.
It's very clear. It's clear that Batuzeus' heart is badly hurt, and his form has fallen off, and he makes that lunge, and it is tremendously powerful. But
that sword comes down, and God's bless the agility of this tiny fighter. He sidesteps and pivots with his with his hips there, and he brings his shield to where the sword will come down, skip, and scrape. So you hear this scraping crang sound as the sword gets buried in the dirt, and he's going to attempt to attack your wrist with a damn. Can you not? All right, my dice hate me for the formations, but evidently this duel is fantastic. For 22.
All right, see what I can do here. I only managed a 14.
Oh shit! Throw me an armor test.
Ooh, I rolled an 8. Is that explode?
Yep, armor tests do explode.
18.
Fantastic. So your armor is going to absorb all of that. So what's going to end up happening is the sword bites into the armor, but he doesn't have a big enough arm to actually bite all the way through the bronze. But you feel the blow, like bang, on your forearm there. And he just stops. He just follows that arm all the way up to your face, and he goes, "We're done." He lets go of his sword. Sword is stuck in your forearm there, your van brace there, and he drops his shield and kind of just throws his arms up in the air, and he just walks off. And a servant actually walks over with that blue-green sea cape, and he throws it over his shoulders, and he looks back and he goes, "Find me when you're whole again, and we can finish this."
Agreed.
And he just kind of he roars in that alien tongue of his, and like what you assume, a couple servants come over to you, and Atlantean servants, mind you, and they, if you let them, they're going to try and dress that wound for you.
Well, I recognize what they're doing and what they're preferring, and I'm like, all right. Yeah.
You just submit right there.
Yeah, he's like, all right, this is an honorable opponent, and he is behaving honorably. So, all right, yes, he will accept.
They will begin dressing you, and the honor guard will walk
pretty
off.
Bad
with,
shape.
How much vitality do you have left? You bring his wounds, and it like 3 turns has passed, so -3 more.
-3 more. So yep. He's got like 4 left.
Oh yeah. No, we're Yep.
Yeah.
So Ilmatar, that troop is leaving.
Well, I was gonna say, as soon as the honor guard starts like peeling off, he's gonna run up to Batrius and probably shoo off at least one of the attendees. And pull out one of his poultices and do an apothecary.
Okay.
There you are. I thought we lost you. And this big cloud of blood.
Worry about yourself, not me.
Now, back to Oron.
Okay.
That's a 30.
So
Whoa, wow.
so Auron, as he sees this fellow take the blow to his shield and seems to not notice it, and he sees this lady run up to him and begin fighting with him. He smiles, leaps upon up onto a well, is there a tree nearby he can get up into quickly?
Not nearby,
Really?
not quick
Okay.
enough.
That's fine. So he'll just move to a little better vantage point, and then he's going to release 3 arrows at this guy.
Okay.
He's going to take him down. That's his what's in his mind. So, all right, that first one is going to be, it's going to be a 16, low roll.
All right.
Second shot is going to be a 23.
All right.
And the last shot is going to be a 25.
How many of these are the golden goose arrows?
Well, all 3 of them, because he's been called to vengeance on him.
Oh, shit. All right. Okay. Okay, the first one is going to get through.
Okay.
The second one will not.
Okay.
How about the third? Come on, let it through. Damn it. Only the first one lands.
Okay.
Of course, the lowest
Roll the-
scoring one gets through.
I'll roll the damage for it.
Do it.
Which is good enough. 17.
17. Okay. All right. How about that armor test? That's with all the Fey Iron bonuses, right?
Yes.
Okay. He takes 2 points of damage.
But he got his attention.
Oh, it tickled.
Okay.
It probably catches him on the hip, and he did get his attention. And he follows the fletching back over to you, and he kind of with that leg, he plants his boot, like his heel, into the girl's shield, just like, and he shoves her away, and he just roars, "Shion!" I don't know. Hi, hello. I don't know what the hell that was.
Okay, he looks at this figure calling him by that name, and he just throws his head back and just lets out a scream. That banshee scream he's known for when he gets really upset. So
this entity knows
roll.
your real name.
I've got to make a roll because that's not a good thing.
Right?
That's going to be a. It's his self-control. Oh yeah, that's right. It's just his spirit, right?
Self-control is sight-based.
Sight. Okay, it's just his sight.
Yep.
Okay. That's a total of 9. So he doesn't quite make the frenzy roll. Makes it above it. But still, he's pissed.
Well,
how dare that mortal pass that name past his lips?
Well, he doesn't know you as Shihan yet.
Yeah.
Actually, as Oron yet. Excuse me.
No, either way.
But you do see that arrow has cut him a little bit, and his green blood is actually leaking out and making the bronze paint on his flesh run. Okay. So with that, actually goes and attempts to, like, now he's kind of like fighting 2 opponents now. Kind of squares off with both of you as the Fairfolk war horn for night goes off over this gully.
Okay.
And you hear Myos from across the way. He just spits, "Damn it!" And he puts his sword away back into the scabbard on the inside of his shield, and he takes the red sash off of that's hanging from the bottom of the shield, and he actually drops it at Sunita's feet and walks off with the rest of his troops. And she just stands there, just kind of like dumbfounded, and she just looks at the shield, looks back at you, looks up at the sun, and then she looks back at him. Just,
so like he turns
stream
his
of
back.
expletives come out.
He turns his back upon me.
Those are the rules of battle.
Shihan's not a warrior. He's a hunter. He's getting an arrow in the back.
Okay.
Just so you know. So. Ooh. Oh. That's going to be a 28.
Roll damage on that.
Okay. It's going to be a total of 14.
What?
All right. His armor is going to negate all of that.
Okay.
But yeah, you just thunks into him. And he doesn't melt into the crowd because he's brightly colored and shit. But the two battle lines basically they separate as the sun dissipates behind the mountains there.
Okay. He goes up to where his gather the arrows that he can still, but then he looks and that one went, and he said, "Before the sun, he will die." Besides, I had to get my arrow back.
She just ignores you as she watches him walk away.
Shihan just turns to her, nods, and just he walks off and fades into the dusk as well.
He goes, "You don't want to know about her?"
At this point, he has a job to do. Once he's done, then he can seek her out. He's very, very focused on what he has been called to do. So,
are you sure it's Myos is the quarry?
That seems to be who she was trying to kill. So, if she has other quarries, she should speak up or let him walk off, one of the two.
No, she did let him walk off.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Shihan, if she wishes to give him a different quarry, she would know. You must tell him, otherwise.
As the two lines separate, we go back to Batrazeus and Ilmatar on that hillside. Where is Roland in all of this?
Roland has been, as I said, the first thing he was going to do is, if possible, set those siege engines aflame.
He's already done so.
So that's probably going to draw some attention to those. He's then going to, as he retreats back from their supply area, he's probably going to toss the torch into the closest supply wagon, and then fade into the dusk. Go back over to see what was going on with Batrazeus at that point.
Okay. We'll start to close the session there then. Batrazeus, let's get your soliloquy before we end here. As these, as Ilmatar and I will say only one of these Atlanteans are tending to your wounds.
It was a good day. Much good was done. I will live to fight again. And that one, he was a mighty warrior. Soon, Ilmatar, thank you.
Well, then we'll go to Ilmatar then.
Ilmatar is here bandaging his battle buddy, taking care of that sucking chest wound, using as many poultices as he needs to. He doesn't really look at the Atlantean attendant with disdain, but it's just kind of the whole, I don't know if you know what you're doing, and this is the enemy you're trying to heal, so I don't necessarily trust you.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, I'll just tell you what to do and you give me what I need. And that's, is Atlantean a restricted language?
Yeah, you don't speak their language.
Okay. I do have like 3 or 4 ranks in academic. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no. So yeah, he would basically like point to what he needed, or, you know, do like the apply pressure sign and point to where he needed it done. As his buddies there talking, Ilmatar would just kind of give him the doctor smile and just, yep, you're gonna fight again. Yep, you'll get him. Sure, he was a fine warrior. It's not his first time he's had to bandage up his buddies, so he kind of just lets him go on and on and on about his exploits and what he wants to do next. He knows he's going to have to follow the bonehead into another fight sooner or later. All this is done, though, to his friend with a smile, and it's not the whole, we're both talking out of our ass, but it's, you're going to live, you're going to fight, you're going to go kick some ass. And if he's able to get him bandaged up enough that they can walk, he will. Otherwise, I guess we'll just wait for Roland to show up and get him back that way.
Which, perfect timing.
You went quiet before you said perfect timing, or after you said perfect timing. My turn.
Yeah, not when as Roland walks onto the scene. I guess I muted myself too early.
Yeah, it happens. So as Roland walks up, as the sun is setting and he hears that war horn off in the distance, he smiles under his mask and he sees that though Batrazeus is being tended to, he's still alive. And he nods. That's he probably fought well. I wish I'd seen it. He looks over his shoulder and says, "But I have had a day well done." He walks up and looks at the wound, sees that it's actually quite bad,
quite deep,
and reaches into his pouch and pulls out one of his own poultices and hands it to Ilmatar and makes sure he has enough to patch him up. Then he pulls his blades out and begins cleaning them, watching the Atlantean attendant. He's not necessarily cleaning them in a intimidating way, but definitely letting him know that the blades are there in case things go badly and such. He knows the night is going to be a long one for him as well, because his people are beginning their maneuvers, as it were. And hopefully the fires that he set will be a beacon for them to see where at least the rear of the enemy lines are. A place to mark where they may attack once the time is right. And he sits back, or as he's doing this, and thinks of the day, shudders at the memory of the trolls. But he is content in his way. So
I would like to get one soliloquy from Shihan or Elron now, but Eric, if you've got to sign off, you can go do that quick.
I appreciate that, guys.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Sleep
you
well.
for joining us tonight. And rest well, my friend. Auron's mind is a seething mass of fury and hate, and said his mind is rarely, even in the best of times, at rest. The call of vengeance rides him like a rider rides a horse. The need to find this figure and to dispatch him, to lay vengeance upon him, is a force that he almost can't control. He hears the whispers in the backs of his mind of those who this one has slain. He's not sure if that's just a bit of his insanity or if that's the actual whispers of those who have actually died, calling for this one's blood. He knows the bow will not serve him now, so he goes to the blade, the ebon blade that he secured along with the armor that he now wears. He looks back at the redheaded lady standing there. He thinks for a moment of turning back and speaking with her, but if she has not spoken a name, then the one that she was striking before is his quarry. He waits for just a moment, see if she actually says anything.
She stands up straight and looks at you over the over her shoulder and says, "Endukaga."
Endukaga. That name jingles something in the back of Auron's mind.
You're pretty damn sure you've killed him already.
And with
it's
that,
actually his skin that you made into a cape that you're wearing currently.
Yeah, he actually reaches back and brushes that cape, and he turns and says, "Are you sure?"
She turns, squares off with you and glares. She goes, "Do you question me, Vengeance? I am quite sure."
He walks over to her and gets nose to nose with her and says, "I wear his flesh as a cape.
But
do you wish
it
this?"
Still lives.
That he growls sort of low in his back of his throat and says, "Not for long. That one will tell you where he is."
Myos? He knows nothing. It's the cult of the darkened face, again, trying to make the spirits sick. They have stolen the crown of autumn. That's why it's autumn still. The seasons cannot turn.
Then I shall hunt him. But he holds a finger and pokes her in the chest and says, "I will not do it alone. There are those who need to be involved. I will do my part. But you must go find others to also hunt these, not with me, but as well."
You need to go speak to my babushka. She still lives.
Then I will. He gathers up the last of his gear. He says, "But that one has an appointment, for he has one of my arrows, and always I must collect them."
She told me you had lost 3 of the 6. Don't lose another one.
No. I will come see her. Tell her this. And he turns and, with that, goes out into the darkness.
And with that, the stage curtains will close on the first chapter of A Lingering Sickness in the book, The Crown of Autumn. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We will be back not next week, but the following week, as our gaming schedule has had a slight change. Ever so slight change. Good night, everybody.
Good night.